Hi, this is Steve Kern, and you're listening to Live in Color with Jimmy Street and some jabroni named Wolfie D.
Hey, this is Jimmy Street, host of the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast. Hear the life and times of professional wrestler Wolfie D. From his time in the territories with PG-13 to his time in WWE, ECW, WCW, TNA, and more. Nothing is off limits and nothing will be held back. Thanks again for tuning in. Here he is, Wolfie D.
Welcome once again to Live and in Color with Wolfie D and my man Jimmy across the street. And brother, you ain't gonna believe this.
What?
Fucking walking. I told you I've had people wrecking in my yard like twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walking out to my mailbox, not that long ago, actually. I guess it's been within the hour. And another motherfucker, while I'm walking out there, comes screeching down there because it's cruise weekend, right? Up here,
yeah.
And it's Mustang week. It's the best one. So everybody's always rip-roaring around and everything. Here comes this fucking Mustang. Wow. He don't make my corner. Here he comes into my yard. And I swear to God, like on a daggum action movie, I had to dive and do a dive and roll out of the way of this fucking Mustang, man.
Oh, my God, bro. Are you all right?
Like, I'm just ribbing, Jimmy.
Oh, my God. Bro, what the hell? I was like, get that license plate, bro.
You think I'd be calling you right now? We'd be doing this right now if that happened. But well, hey, who doesn't enjoy a good rib, right, Jimmy?
I mean, we all love ribs, man. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, you like the way I set that up for you. Why don't you tell the people what you got in store for them this week?
Yeah, so today we have best of. It's a good best of, though. It's what's everybody love. You know, one of Wolfie's favorite questions that he always asks is, you got any good rib stories? You know, and so, yeah, that's what we're doing today. We've got a part 2 of the rib stories. So we've got, Trailer Park Trash, Flanagan, Joel Deaton, Babydoll, Tony Falk. I mean, we got so many great, excellent rib stories that everybody's going to like these. So
yeah, that's good, man. I love the rib. The rib stories are always the funnest. They really are.
Yeah, they are. And you know what? Some of these have never been heard before, Wolfie.
Really?
Yeah, some of these have never been heard by anyone before. So
did you just have to edit these out of the other shows?
Well, you know, you sometimes hold stuff back, maybe if it doesn't necessarily fit the flow or something. And, you know, and sometimes whenever, you know, like somebody will tell a lengthy batch of rib stories, I might pluck one out of there and keep it as an outtake, you know, and for instances such as this, basically. So, yeah.
Perfect, man. That's good thinking ahead there, bud.
I try, man. I try. But yeah, you know, we were kind of looking for something to do this week. You've had a busy week. I've kind of had a busy week as well. But yeah, so we just decided as the week progressed that we might as well put out this episode, which is the Ribs Part 2 episode.
Ribs Part 2.
Yeah.
Now, are those dry rubbed or is that Memphis style ribs?
Oh, you got to have it Memphis style. Come on, man. You know, that's
Memphis style is dry rub, ain't it?
It is, and it's the best in my opinion. You know, you can have a little sauce on the side if you need it, but man,
that like dip in, man. That's
right.
Me. I don't want a bunch of sauce on it. I don't.
Right. And you know, it's funny because you know, I would get ribs all over the place. But what was your favorite rib place in Memphis, by the way?
Oh man, I couldn't tell you, man, because I'll be honest with you. I'm not a huge. I like ribs when they're, you know, like at a big buffet or I'm at a barbecue place, but I don't seek them out. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
You know, and I can appreciate ribs. I know good ribs from bad ribs, but it's not something that I seek out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do like them though.
Yeah.
But yeah, even back then, especially, I wasn't thinking about those kind of ribs, and I wasn't thinking about ribs in general. I was looking for other stuff.
I got you. Well, you know, and hey, nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is you know, like I in Nashville, you know, I love like Corky's and Jack's downtown. Jack's.
Okay, Jack's now, but see, when I went to Jack's, I'd always get that half a chicken.
Yeah, that's a great. Oh man, that is great.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that is great. Yeah. I liked all their stuff they have there. The brisket, the pulled pork. I mean, the bar. You know, the ribs, the chicken. Jack's don't play, man. So if y'all are in Nashville, I think there's 2 locations. I think there's one on Charlotte, and there's definitely one downtown in Broadway.
Yeah, that's just down. one.
Yeah, that was so good. But anyway, the best ribs that I've ever had, and to be straight up with you, was this guy named Rock. He had a I think it was a Tahoe or a Suburban, and he would drive around West Nashville pulling a smoker with him. And he would hit us up when I was working at the Great Escape. He would hit us up around lunchtime, like he knew when our lunch was. Right. And man, he would pull in that parking lot. And he was from Memphis originally, but he had moved to Nashville and he had started his own thing. And man, I hope he's doing.
Sounds like a OG food truck guy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely that. So the best ribs I've ever had in my life were from a guy named Rock, and he was from Memphis, so he knew what's up, So anyway, but for the other ribs,
other ribs are on the way.
We got some really good ones. Yeah, we got some really.
Real quick before we go to break and get those ribs out the oven. We'll go ahead and plug the Hall of Fame ceremonies again. What is the website? Don't put that on there. Is it MemphisWrestlingHallOfFame.com to get your tickets? From what I understand, they're going fast. So get on there. And I'm going to say this, okay, folks. This is probably, if you look at this lineup and all the people that are going to be there, and some of the people on the poster, or that are not on the poster, there's going to be others. You can bet your butt that. Yeah. But just the people on the poster alone, that's going to be, I hate to say, they say never, but I promise you, this group of guys will never be together in one place again. I promise.
Yeah. Unless a miracle happens.
Something crazy.
Yeah. And this, you autograph seekers, this will be the place, to complete your collection on stuff. I mean, there's so many guys that are going to be there, So,
not to mention, it just means a bunch to me.
Right. Absolutely.
To everybody that has supported me in the past and present and future, come on out. It means a lot. And that's Jackson, Tennessee, September the 21st at what's the name of the place again?
It is 2310 North Highland, Jackson, Tennessee, at the Picture Perfect Event Center.
Right. And the Hall of Fame ceremony starts at 7 p.m. Central Time. Those are all Central Time. So
yeah. And by the way, no Ask Wolfie this week. We're just doing ribs, y'all. Enjoy the ribs. We'll see y'all next week.
All right. We will get the ribs out the oven and or off the grill. They better on the grill, ain't they? Get the ribs off the grill, and we'll be right back.
At BlueNile.com, you can find endless ways to make your moments sparkle. From classic and timeless jewelry gifts to creating the custom engagement ring of her dreams, all at prices you won't find at a traditional jeweler. And right now, you can save up to 40% on fine jewelry and 25% on engagement ring settings during the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale, going on now. Go to BlueNile.com to shop the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale and save up to 40%. That's BlueNile.com.
Hey folks, to get your official Live and in Color with Wolfie D merchandise, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Live Wolfie D. Check it out.
If you're listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D on Apple Podcast and like what you're hearing, go ahead and leave a 5-star rating. And while you're at it, write a review. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you'd like to hear in the future. It's very important to us and always appreciated. Thanks again.
So we're talking funny stuff here, and I don't want to lead off in a different path, but I got to hear some good ribs from you, Tony. Have you heard, tell me a good rib you saw or was a part of or had done to you or something funny like that?
Oh, it was just where they would hide shoes like Reggie B. Fine. And when the Sandman came in here, he didn't know about ribs, and they smartened him up, and he thought he was learning how to. He was like man. And
Snowman or Sandman?
Huh?
Snowman or Sandman? You said Sandman.
Sandman. Jim Fullerton, the Sandman. He came down from Philadelphia, but listen, the first gimmick is he had to carry this big diving board, the surfboard around.
Yeah.
And the wetsuit. That was his first gimmick. He'd come out, the Sandman, like I guess one of them beach bums or something. He carried that damn thing to the ring, and Eric Emery took a pocket knife one time and cut, because he ribbed me so much, he cut my name on that board one time.
Oh,
with the damn Eric, because I wouldn't rib back, but he's somebody smartened him up. Boy, he was just doing little stupid ribs. But one thing they would do is like we'd be in Louisville and we'll leave that dressing room and go to the ring and come back. Then all of a sudden go get showered and get dressed. You only got one tennis shoe there.
Yeah.
And you remember this, Wolfie D, and your shoe, you looking, you cussing. So then I had to wear my wrestling boots home. Back to Nashville because they done stole one of your tennis shoes.
Oh, man.
So that's like a Tuesday. So then a Saturday, maybe in Nashville, then you come back, all of a sudden your tennis shoes popped up back, that one that was missing. Yeah. They done had it. Just many ribs, but if somebody could ever write compile a book, put it in the form of all the ribs, there's been hundreds of. But Sandman, I wasn't there this last night, but they got him in Evansville when he was finishing up. He had to go back to Pittsburgh because his wife wanted him to come, so he cut his little stay short down here. He was only here probably about 7 or 8 weeks. But that night they took I guess Frank Morrell and Jeff Gaylord and them. They was tying his Zuba pants up in knots, pulling on the. Eric Emery supposedly went out and spray painted his headlights on the van with his black paint. I think another one did the old, crap in the bag.
Yeah.
I think that was a stiff rib there.
Yeah, that's a very stiff rib because your wife finds that gimmick, Yeah.
Toothpaste. They've been so many. Oh, man. But no, I never did like getting in. I never ribbed, and I really didn't like to get ribbed. But I got ribbed a few times.
Yeah,
you don't want the repercussions.
Yeah,
but I did pay. I paid one back one time, and could have cost us a big deal at Channel 5. See, Brian Christopher had chased me. Wolfie might have been there when I used that Ethernet lighter and got Brian BC. Man, he jumped 2 foot up. But what happened is he had a big wad of something, and I thought he was that flash paper or something. He was going to burn me, chasing me around over in Missouri. West Memphis at the Art one. And I said, Brian, get out of here. And he was like, I thought he was going to throw that. And I was running. People thought it was so funny. And a couple months later at Channel 5 right there, and there was a can of ether starting fluid, for the car.
Yeah.
They must use it. I've seen it. They used it for I guess on the old rag where they come up by. I think maybe Sean Stasiak or somebody was doing something. They were working at Angle I can't remember exactly, but I know I said, you got a lighter, and Brad had come out of taking a shower, and he was sitting there with his towel around him, and I backed up, and I took and flicked that big and hit that button, and it was like a blowtorch. He jumped, and then I got in trouble from our friend Randy Ells because he said, Tony, that could have set the sprinkler system. That could have been. We could have lost it. It could have been bad.
Wolfie, do you remember this? I wanted to ask you this one time, but because you're always talking about stories of people like pulling ribs and stuff. And this was like a rib that I did one time that kind of backfired. That I think you got hot about and didn't really take it as a rib. But this was like during one of those times, like when Power Pro, when they had me doing like some managing stuff, and it was like one night we were doing a show at the New Daisy, and I don't remember who all was in the ring, but I just remember you was out there and I was managing. And man, I had discovered this stuff that is like this really super hot burning kind of stuff that was designed for if you had a really bad toothache and you could put it on there, but it was like this a real strong, almost like a cinnamon type something. And there was so I had it with me, and I kind of got some on my finger, and like I was supposed to be over there like choking you or doing something, and I just kind of smeared it like all over your lips and everything, because man, it would just turn into like fire.
Oh my God.
And I remember you getting like real hot about it, you know. But do you remember that?
Was this before Puerto Rico or after?
Yeah, right.
Was this before Puerto Rico or after?
The icy hot. No,
it wasn't icy, but yeah, it was just the stuff that you know I just did as a rib, like, you know, because man, like once you get it on you, like, and then you're stuck out there in the ring, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. You know, it's not like you can like, you know, drink something or wipe it off or whatever. You just gotta work with it.
I did.
That's hilarious.
That is good, man. So, and I don't remember anything, but during that time, okay, so a number of people kind of took you the wrong way and whatnot. Maybe a little, you know, heat from the boys in the locker room. Did anybody like? That was during Owen and Davey Boy times too. Did anybody try to pull big ribs on you or anything?
Oh, Owen and Davey did.
Okay, good.
Me all the time,
that's what I was looking for.
Owen, they ribbed me all the time. They one time I messed around and told Owen, I don't know why I told Owen, that my in-laws were in town, you know, at the match, and I never met them, and they had them up in the box seat. So I get ready, you know, after my match, I get dressed and everything, and I'm smelling like dog shit.
Oh man!
And I'm like, what is this smell?
Oh,
and it's all over my clothes, and I have no choice but to go meet them. So they had a stink bomb that they burst in my bag.
Oh man!
You got them on my clothes because I was going to meet the in-laws, you know. And so I went to meet them smelling like pure dog doo-doo, man. I didn't think what they were thinking, man.
Oh God, can you imagine?
Then one time when I was just got there, this is like maybe my third match. I'm wrestling, you know, I'm already nervous as shit. And I'm wrestling, and all of a sudden, my music comes on halfway during the match. I'm like, this not time to go home, you know. Well, maybe they're telling me to take it home. So I went on the end of the match real quick. And then I got to the back, and Mikey Tonda was having a fit. He's like, who cut that fucking music on? Who cut that music on? I want to know who cut that music on. And Owen looked at Dave and said, Dave, you did it. Dave looked at Owen and said, no, Owen, you did it. And so I think Owen did it, I believe, but they never got to the bottom of that. But Mikey Tonda was here.
It's amazing, man. They could get away with so much shit like that. Anybody else would probably be fired for doing that, regardless of which one of them it was.
Right. But you know what Brett told me? Brett told me, man, he said, man, don't get mad at Owen ripping you. He said, because they only rip you that they like. If they don't like you, they won't rip you.
Right.
So I was like, that's cool, man. I mean, I got no problem with it. I'll get them back. And then they get the one at WrestleMania, they pulled another one on me.
Oh, my God.
At WrestleMania, they called me, and here I am talking to Jay Leno, assistant. And they tell me that, you know, they want me on Jay Leno's show, and there'll be in a limousine to pick me up at, let's say, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, man, I went out to Wolfie, and I brought a nice ass vintage suit, man. I brought some new shoes, a nice watch. And then I'm standing outside all dressed to the teals, man, dressed to teal. And then Owen and Davey comes out. And they said, where you going? I'm at looking like that. I said, I got to do a thing with Jay Leno's show. And Owen said, that's bullshit, man. We never got called from Jay Leno. We've been here for 14 years or whatever. I said, well, that's just the way it's ball down sometimes, you know? And then they start, but then all of a sudden, Dave Boy can't hold it in, so he busts out laughing. And then Owen busts out laughing. And I'm like, what are y'all laughing at? And then Brett comes out, and he's falling in the bushes almost laughing. I'm like, what's so funny? Why y'all laughing? And then it dawned on me. There is no Jay Leno show. Yeah, there is no Jay Leno. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I'm going to get y'all back.
Who was on the phone? Who was on the phone?
Owen.
Who was doing Jay Leno? Owen?
Was it Owen?
Owen? Yeah.
I was going to say,
Owen
I can't
Hart,
see
man.
that Davey Boy being able to pull off a Jay Leno.
No.
Yeah, I guess Owen probably could.
And
That is
thinking
hilarious.
I think I'm finna go to Jay Leno's show. I'm all dressed up and pleased. I was going nowhere.
Oh, man.
And they
so
just bust out laughing, man. I'm like, man, y'all know what money I spent getting ready for this show?
That's classic, man. Did you ever get him back for any of that?
No, man, I never got them back. Got them back.
Yeah,
I'd say they were
always on. Yeah, they were always on guard with their stuff. You know what I'm saying? They guarded their stuff like a hawk.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
When you do that much shit, you got to be on guard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
24/7.
I don't know if you recall, but you remember the time that Jamie showed up and he was like passed out in the dressing room and all that stuff, and our daggum music was playing, and we had to rap the thing or whatever. And Monday Night Raw, and I can't find Jamie. He was passed out, but he wasn't in the place where I'd left him. I find him. He's got shaving cream, and he's got his gimmick on now. He's got shaving cream all over it, and the music's playing. I had to throw him in the shower real quick, wipe him off, and pretty much wrap myself that night. But yeah, they were the culprits of that one too.
Jamie's a little out there, man.
Then there was Robert Briscoe leaving his doors unlocked in Elizabethtown, and me and Trash got back there before he did, and Trash had some Polaroids of some chick. I don't know, but
so Briscoe was not married, but living with one of the longtime rats.
He was engaged.
Well, yeah, they were engaged. They just never got married, but they were living together and stuff. And Briscoe had just got a DUI like, a month or two back before this or something. So I put empty beer cans under his seat, a few condoms, a few naked pictures.
Oh my God!
And what did this dude? What did he do to get this?
He was
just because you felt like it.
Yeah,
just to rib him.
Yeah, just to rib him because he was the kind of guy. He was the kind of guy we would get booked to ref matches and stuff on the road because he was funny to ride with because he would sit over there and stare out the window and talk to himself and shit.
Dang on. And that's the guy you
We all just kind of wait. We just wait for him to start doing it. Then we get our giggles out of that shit. Look at here he goes. There he goes.
The guy that stares off in the distance, you rib the crazy guy? I'm just kidding. So.
Yeah. Well, we did piss all over his car.
Yeah. I kind of forgot about that one.
You guys sound like the fucking boys in the 70s and 80s, for God's sake.
Oh, man, well, the problem was, like I said, I was fortunate enough to when Danny was still on the road shit, so I traveled with Danny, and he told me all these old stories and shit, and it's just making me want to go do them,
Yeah.
Man, that sounds like fun.
I think I could do that, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's fun. So that just, and then Rip come along, and
he's notorious.
That puts you in a different world, and I think Rip brought the Rip in me out. Because when Rip come along, I'm thinking, what can I do? What can I do to top Rip? What can I do to top Rip?
We couldn't.
Can you see Trash at some sort of? Can you see Trash at some sort of acceptance speech? And I'd also like to thank my producer. I'd like to thank Rip Rogers for bringing out the river in me. I'd like to thank Danny Davis. You got to thank your producer and God first before you thank anybody else.
Exactly. Yeah. God for putting these people in my life. I love it, man. I would never change nothing because I love the memories. I love doing it. I love living it. I love meeting all my brothers. The wrestling business is people don't understand in those days. I don't know how it is now, but if you made it in, then you was a brother. You was one of the boys.
Yeah.
And there was a difference. You could tell. If you wasn't one of the boys, you were just there. And it sure as hell couldn't have been as fun as it was for us.
Yeah.
Did I tell you the New Jack story? They were going to kill New Jack?
No.
I don't think so.
No. All right. Well, they brought New Jack and Pondo down to Puerto Rico. And Jack was my partner, and Pondo was Mike Hughes' partner.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack and Hughes got into a few months earlier about a staple gun. So I was like, I told Pondo, look, I'll stay with
Mike, you stay at Jack, and we'll keep that way. Things are kind of kept no problem. Well, Pondo, he's double jointed. He can take his leg and turn it all the way around backwards.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, this would be a great rib. I go, look, when Jack, you come off the top of the truck and do the splash on Pondo. Pondo, you act like you broke your leg. 1, 2, 3. I'll go to the back and just completely kayfabe. I won't do anything. I'll just act like everything got screwed up. So we go to the back. Luke was like, mate, what happened? I go, Jack wanted to do that stupid jump off the truck when it's all wet. And he came down and broke Pondo's leg. And Luke was like, oh. And he's like, they're trying to get an ambulance there and all this. And I guess this is where it gets good. So then we get in the locker room, and no one is smart enough to what's going on. Jack starts yelling at me, saying that I set the table too far and all this. I'm like, you're the one that set the table up and wanted to do that stupid move. And so I'm going off on Jack, and this is right after he stabbed that kid in Florida. So I go, what are you going to do, stab me in front of everybody? Oh, Jack goes, oh, no, you didn't. And he pulls out this knife and starts coming towards me.
Oh, shit.
Well, the referees were brothers, and they were drug dealers. But they were my boys.
Drugs and count 3, baby.
So he's walking towards me, and he's getting ready to walk in between them. Well, the one brother was getting ready to hook the arm where the knife was at, while the other brother had his hand on his gun, and as soon as he hooked his arm, he was going to shoot him in the head.
Oh, damn.
And I see, and all the other boys had their hands on their guns and knives and everything, and I'm thinking, whoa, it's a rib.
Yeah.
And then Jack comes, because I'm standing there holding my kendo stick while Jack's coming at me with a knife. And once then had to smarten everyone up, and then we get in the car. Luke was like, good rib, mate. We'll see how funny it is when you get your pink slip Monday.
Oh, man. That is pretty heavy. That's pretty fucking heavy.
Jeez.
You stayed down there way
Go to Puerto Rico, they say. It'll be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I had a blast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you loved it. I liked it, but I couldn't have stayed the time you stayed. There's no way.
Well, Soma's helped.
Obviously. Obviously. Hey, I got it, and he'll probably kill me for saying this, but I don't give a shit. Flash, you was there that night with Jason Lee, wasn't you? You remember what I'm talking about? The American Eagle, Vito.
Oh, that was the best.
That I guess. All right, we're all sitting in the locker room, and we ribbed a lot back in those days. In ADW, we were, and I'll tell you my rib here in a minute. So Jason Lee had this thing where you sitting down, not paying no attention, and he had the fart. He'd walk past you, and all of a sudden you turn around, there's his ass, and he based you.
Oh man, brutal.
He would act like a little child. You go, you got basted.
Yeah, So but that was Jason's thing, And so there was this one night. It was the first night Cornette come to OVW to start, to work, working with Danny. So it was kind of everybody's a little bit more on their P's and Q's that night, because nobody really knew a lot about Jimmy other than Flash worked for him at Smoky Mountain and stuff. Yeah. I mean, we knew Jimmy, of course, but nobody worked with him much.
Yeah, right.
So everybody's a little bit on their P's and Q's, and I remember we're sitting around, and I see Jason get up. You already know what he's going to do, and nobody's really paying much attention. And Jason walks past the American Eagle, drops his pants, and Eagle turns around and he's got the mask on. And instead of farting, Jason shoots a stream of shit.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Well, hold on. Jason came running through there and jumped in the air and pulled his pants down. And when he landed, he farted and blew it out.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
The American Eagle's got the mask on, and Vito's sitting there dude, you shit on me. Jason turns around. The reaction to his face when he seen what he did, I wish somebody had he's like, he don't want Cornette. He don't want Cornette to know anything about it because, like I said, none of us work the lead that much and shit. But it was just the funniest thing. And later on, of course, Cornette heard about it. He was a little upset nobody come and told him about it.
I was going to say, Cornette would have loved that.
Yeah, he goes, Jason, if I would have known that, you'd been champion.
You know what? Through that whole story, I was sitting here thinking, you kept saying American Eagle. Now, American Eagles that I worked was Danny Davis and Ken Wayne. I was thinking you were going to say he shit on one of them. I was going to be like, oh my God.
This would kill him.
He'd have been killed. One of the funniest things you've seen a lot back in those days when Jason comes flying out of the office, because Jason loved to aggravate the piss out of Danny. It was like Danny's son that he hated, kind of thing. And there was many nights Jason comes flying out of there and Danny chasing him with a kendo stick or something, trying to beat the shit out. Jason went right out the back door and haul ass. Danny's so pissed off at him. Jason's a really hell of a guy, a good family man, whatnot.
Who's a bigger ribber, you or Bubba? And tell me a good story about who ribbed who the best.
Oh, shucks. Bubba is the biggest ribber I know.
Give me some good Bubba ribs.
Oh, God, I don't even know if I can tell it on the air.
I mean, we can edit if you have to. I mean, you can keep it whatever.
My God. It's one of those things where, you don't need anything. You can't remember because it was so long ago, but yet you don't have to remember. You remember.
Of course. I got you.
Let me see. Some with Bubba.
Or any good rib. I like people come on here and tell funny fucking stories. That's what I like the best.
Well, I do, and I think Bubba has something to do with this. I was in the bathroom, and I remember somebody going, Devon, your music is hitting. I went, oh, damn. So I got off the toilet, put my pants up. I was ready to go. And as we had to do a run-in. So as I'm doing a run-in, I'm running down the aisle. Everything is good. As I'm running down the aisle, this toilet paper flapped to the back of my pants inside. So I'm like, what the hell? So I didn't know it. And so Bubba goes, Devon, come here for a second. And I'm about to lock up with, I think it was X-Pac. I was about to lock up with X-Pac. He goes, Devon, come here. I was like, Bubba, I'm about to lock up. Are you seriously asking me that? He goes, just come here. And he reaches down and he goes, I can't, this is somebody's rib. I was like, somebody's rib? I go, what are you talking about? You're talking about food now. He goes, no, somebody was ribbing you. And he took the talking about my pants. And I just went, you son of a bitch. He goes, Devon, I didn't do it. I go, okay. Okay.
That's a pretty good.
Man, that's brutal.
The best, I got to tell you, the best fucking rib was we're wrestling in Africa. And it's me and I remember you remember Big Rick Fuller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So me and Rick Fuller, it's the Reinforcer and the Detonator. That's what they called us, and we're wrestling. And we did a lot of stuff together overseas and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
We're wrestling against Powers of Pain. Kevin's managing him. And I snapped my Barb, and I put Barbarian in the fucking chin lock. And all of a sudden, freaking, I smell something. And Barb's ripping him. He's farting up a storm.
Oh, man.
I'm like, and I look over, the ref goes, does he give? And I'm like, do you give? Do you give? And Barb's laughing. I'm going, he goes, no, but I give. And he goes, what do you mean? I'm the guy holding him in the chin lock. And I'm saying, I give. He goes, what do you mean? I go, dude, you don't smell that? Barb farted. So the ref turns around and starts laughing so loud. He runs over to fucking Warlord. Barb farted. Runs over to Rick Fuller. Barb farted. Runs over to Kevin. Barb farted. Kevin goes, he goes, farted. He shit himself. He goes, I can smell that out here. It's funny. It's funny as hell. So, I mean, Barb used to he used to eat all that protein, man.
Yeah.
Barb used to fucking fart so bad.
I also understand that you have a super glue fetish.
Listen to me. When I would be in my heavy drinking days and partying days, you know what I'm talking about partying. But in those days, it was like nobody was safe around me. Yeah. Nobody was safe around me. I would be crazy gluing everybody to everything, the whole rooms, I'd be gluing doors shut, hotel rooms, zippers on bags, everything. People were actually afraid to fucking room with me. You know, I would glue their shit together. The other thing I would do, I would take smoke bombs, light them till the fucking flame burned out because I didn't want to burn anything.
Yeah.
Put my thumb right on it right as soon as it was hot. I actually put a key on it because the key wouldn't burn my finger while it was still hot. And I would open up somebody's gym bag and throw it in there. And they'd open up their gym bag. Their gear would be purple, yellow, blue, whatever the color was of the smoke bomb. You know, it was just like, it was unleashing the thing. I would do all these fucking crazy fucking ribs. And I wonder, people are afraid to be around me. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want to eat around me. And I realized then fucking one day, fucking Crowbar said to me, he goes, dude, you got to stop ribbing people like you do. He goes, it's fucking brutal. He goes, I mean, you're not Fuji or a fucking Bulldog, but he goes, you're fucking getting a little out of control there, you know? So, you know.
Oh, man. Obviously, what did Lawler think of your gimmick? Did he ever say
I'll tell you, yeah, well, he would never, like, he'd kind of, like, laugh a little bit, right? I remember one time, I'm actually sitting here at my place right now, and I'm looking at this crown. I remember I had this crown that I'd carry. I remember I was really proud of it because I got it off the internet and it had jewels on it, and it was really bedazzled up, looked really fancy. And I'm in the back and I'm talking, and Lawler's like, "Man, that crown's nice, right? Where'd you get it at?" I'm telling him, and I don't know that he's working me, right? And so I'm like, "Yeah, it's a really nice crown. Do you know what's wrong with it?" And he's like, "What?" It's like, "It doesn't fit on my head." And he's like, "Ah." All right. So guess what he says when we get into the ring? When we get into the ring that night, he goes, "You know how you can tell a real king from a fake king?" And of course, and then he waits, and then he's like, "Real king, the crown fits on their head," and he puts his crown on his head.
Oh man, dude!
My fucking crown. I try to put it on my head, and it falls off. Man, the crowd just busts out laughing and thing.
Man,
that's good.
Dude, that's funny.
Good.
Let's take a quick time out and get a word from one of my dope-ass sponsors, and we'll be right back with more Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
The Legends of Memphis Wrestling return to Jackson, Saturday, September 21st at the Picture Perfect Event Center. It will be a night to remember, featuring the stars you watched every Saturday morning on TV. Be there for the Fan Fest meet and greet at 3:30 and the official Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame induction ceremony at 7 p.m. featuring Jerry the King Lawler, Superstar Bill Dundee, the Boogie Woogie Man, Handsome Jimmy Valiant, Dangerous Doug Gilbert, Wildfire Tommy Rich, the Rock and Roll Express, PG-13, Downtown Bruno, the Birdman Coco Beware, Dr. Tom Pritchard, the Dirty White Boy Tony Anthony, Nightmare Danny Davis, Terry Golden, Sir Mo, The Spellbinder, Tony Falk, Carl Fergie, Jerry Calhoun, Michael St. John, and more. Plus a special reunion of the stars from TV5 Power Pro Wrestling and KAW. The Legends of Memphis Wrestling return to Jackson, Saturday, September 21st at the Picture Perfect Event Center. Sponsored by Budweiser, Pro Shingle, Thomas Media, Slide and Ride Rodeo, and WBBJ TV. Tickets are on sale now. Go to Eventbrite and search Official Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame.
I got him one night, though. He can't, like I said, I liked the old boy, but he couldn't get it to where you would like to kill him.
Yeah.
And one night, and then if anybody brought anything, he'd just grab it all. You know, like if somebody brought something in to eat and for everybody, he'd go over and grab it all and just start, just, now you know why he's so big.
Right.
Yeah, so I went back, and when I first got on the road, week before, my mama made me cook every day for a week. She taught me how to cook. She said, that way I know that you won't starve to death.
Yeah.
You can always fix you something to eat. And I said, okay. Well, she taught me how to fix brownies, which ain't nothing to it.
Right.
I fixed a big old pile of brownies up there.
Oh, man.
Right in there with the X-Lax. Chocolate mixes right in.
Oh, my God.
Perfect. And I went in and I made a good batch on top. And Eddie Gilbert was there, and a bunch of guys, and I was giving them to him. I said, take one. Where you go? The guy said, I'm on a diet. I'm training. I said, shut up and take it.
Yeah.
I said, you don't have to eat it. I said, just take it.
Right.
And boom, I got rid of that, and I tore the top layer of paper off. What I did, throwed it down. Here come Ronnie strutting in. I set them brownies down. He walked over and said, put that finger up to his lips. One finger to his lips. Said, are those fresh brownies? I think. And I said, yeah. I said, somebody give them to me. I said, I've eat all I can. These guys have. I said, bon appetit. Eat it up, buddy. He ate that whole thing.
Oh my God.
Called me the next day. He said, and we'd just come back from Texas too. And he said, Tony, I just want to know something. I said, did you have the shits? I said, excuse me? He said, yeah, I think it was something that we ate down in Texas. Just give me the shits. Said, I spent all day long on my day off sitting on the toilet.
Oh my God.
God bless that little toilet. But he did, and harmless rib.
Right.
Harmless rib.
That is funny though, because that's just taking. I mean, yeah, that's perfectly placed in my opinion as far as a rib goes, man. That's because you already knew he comes in and he eats the food. I mean, it's a layup, right? But still,
yeah. He deserved what he got.
Yeah.
So, listen, what people that I talk about do nowadays, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We all party back then. That's, again, no secret.
Right.
And, ECW at the hotel, and Tommy Rich had called me from another room asking me if I had any.
Okay.
And I'm like, nah, I don't. And I didn't.
Right.
I might have been out or something like that, but I didn't have any.
Like there was a reason he would ask, but at the same time, right. I get it.
Yeah. Maybe he was out.
Right.
So,
right.
I kept telling him no. He swore I was lying to him. And okay, Tommy, come on up here. So while he's on the way to the room, I had a bottle of creatine in my fucking wrestling bag, and I got it out and I dumped some of it on the table and I cut it up into lines before he got to the room.
Oh man. Oh,
the ending to the story though, I don't know if I want to say I didn't have the balls to go through with it, but he got down there. Thank you. I let him get almost two.
Oh, salivating.
Yeah.
Excited.
I go, don't. Oh man, it's not real. What are you talking about? It's not real. It's fucking creatine. No, it ain't. God. Then it wasn't.
Right.
It was still cocaine.
Right. It still was. Yeah. Oh, bro.
But yeah, once that, he was pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet.
Imagine how he would have been if I'd have let him do it.
Right. Because sometimes if you're excited about anything, it's like a movie. Like I'm really excited to see this upcoming movie coming out. They play a trailer, and part of it's the anticipation. And then when it's happening, it's like, okay, you're not as excited because you're getting it, but the lead up to whatever you're about to do, sometimes it's the anticipation is a whole other high. Yeah. And so he's fiending. He's like, Wolfie, you got something for old Wolfar, and anyway, man, that's, hey, it shows that you're a real one for not letting him actually do it.
Right.
But
only because I didn't know what it would do to him.
Right. It would have probably burnt really bad. I don't know, kids. Anyway. So anyway, yeah, man, horrible. But that's funny. And you've never told that story. That's actually a very original story. So that's a great story. Thanks, Wolfie. That was awesome.
So here's something that I always like to hear. I always crack up at good ribs. Who was the best ribber you were ever around? And give me a good rib story.
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah. Back in your time, that was the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because AWA was some good ribbers up there, if I'm not mistaken. They were pretty good ribbers, especially Kurt Hennig and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kurt Hennig was one of the best ones and stuff. So,
right.
Yeah.
he seemed to have the less of it was malicious. You know, some of the guys had those malicious ribs that were very, you know, seemed a little bit, wow, are you not a good person? You know, but I've talked to Greg Gagne before, and he was talking about how Kurt put a turd in his bag, and then Kurt won a vehicle or something in a match, and then this guy cut the brakes on the vehicle and stuff. It was some crazy stories that Kurt got himself into trouble sometimes, but yeah. Did you?
Oh yeah. Well, Nord got the rockers one time and stuff, and I know he ended up doing. I think he did something similar like that to one of their bags. It might have been Sean's, and then he put a lock on it. He locked something with a lock, and Sean thought that's all it was, and he was getting ready to take a couple planes to try to get home, so he didn't find that thing in his bag till he got home. So that was a long ride for that to be in his bag, you know.
Yeah, because you can put a turd on. Yeah, you can put a turd on the windowsill in Minnesota and it would freeze, and then you put it in the bag.
Oh yeah,
it's not frozen when you get home. So yeah,
right, exactly. Yeah, and all he thought that Nord did, and he's like, well, ha. He put a lock on his bag, you know. He said, no, that's a good one there. And Nord says, hey, Boris, he's going to find out how real good it is when he gets home. Get that bag opened.
Oh, man.
I want to hear the biggest rib you ever pulled, or even the best rib ever pulled on you, or both.
Oh, my God. Well, you know, and this is the truth. I never really, I don't know if it's the way I carried myself in the dressing room, or, you know, I've always been a personal guy, and I've always made friends easy, and but you know, in the wrestling business, sometimes that don't matter. You're still gonna get ribbed, but
right, yeah.
But I cannot really think of any, you know, vicious rib anyone ever pulled on me, or any kind of, they pretty much just, I mean, all the years, and I tried to count it up one time, and I think I had close to 7,000 matches over my 40-year career. And, you know, during all that time, I just always got along. I never had a loud word that I can really remember.
Yeah.
Well, I might have raised my voice a couple of times here and there, but nothing, you know, never any blows thrown or anything. But one funny rib was they asked Calhoun on the tour, going over there to Japan, and you know, all he did was eat. And
right.
And so I think it might have been, it was on the second tour, so it wasn't the first tour. It was on the second tour, and I can't remember exactly who it was. But anyway, they said we had a bunch of them little Debbie cakes, and they stuffed one of them little Debbie cakes full of X-Lax and took them up there and laid the box of them. Hey, they had to put A-Stacks in first class because it's so big. And so they gave him that box of little Debbie's, and he probably ate every one of them in there.
Wow.
And then after about an hour or so, you know, we were sitting back in business class. That's back when they still had business class, first class, business class, then coach. And Baba always flew us either first class or business class. But anyway, Haystacks got up, and he couldn't fit in the bathroom.
Yeah, I guess.
He was too big to get even in the first class bathroom, and he had to shit.
Oh, man.
And so, you know, he kept saying, we could hear him back in business class, I gotta go. And they didn't know what to do because they couldn't get him in the bathroom up in first class. He wouldn't fit. And so what they finally had to do was get in that little elevator thing. Then they bring stuff up in, and one of the flight attendants had to get in there and go down in the cargo area and bring back a big mail sack, and they had to pull all the curtains to the galleys closed and try to block off as much as they could, and got a bucket and sit it there and set it in the middle of that mail sack, and Haystack had to sit down on that bucket and shit. And I mean, You could smell it all through the plane.
Oh my God.
And I'm talking about, this is one of these big 747, planes, and everybody was like gagging, and oh my God, it's like a big fog was going through the plane, and it was horrible. And we were just, laughing about it there, and it was funny, but it wasn't funny because it stuck so damn bad.
Yeah.
But we nobody ever told him what we did, and so I don't know if he ever found out or not, but that was one rib that was kind of a vicious rib.
Yeah.
And there's several, a lot of little things, like we used to, they used to super glue Sam Houston's cowboy hat, put super glue around it, and when he'd put it on and go out in the ring and stuff, he'd try to take it off, and it'd be stuck all to his hair and stuff.
Oh my God!
We used to do that with Black Bart too, and that was funny. But just little stuff like that, and
that's the stuff I'm looking for, man. That's hilarious, man. Just the way they did back then.
And I remember when Dusty sent us out there to Kansas City for that year almost, out there in what they call that territory. It wasn't Tri-State, it was Central State. Central State is what they called it. And they sent a crew of us, Babydoll and Sam and me and Gene Ligon and Todd Champion, and I don't know, there was George South. There was a bunch of us that went out there. We starved to death, but anyway, Rocky King was with us out there, and we got some girl from the matches and brought her home. And so, so we got her up in the hotel room, and of course she was doing us all favors and stuff. And
oh Lord!
So Rocky King come in there, and I don't know if y'all have anybody ever told you about Rocky. He's a great guy. He used to drive a lot for Ricky and Robert, making road trips and stuff, because they'd make him drive where they wouldn't have to. But anyway, Rocky had a penis that when he stood up, it would hang down to his knee.
Oh my God!
I mean, I ain't shitting you. The thing had to be at least a foot long, probably 14 or 15. and Rocky, and he come in the hotel room with that girl in there, and he pulled his pants off, and she took one look at him and his dick and said, "You are not going to put that thing in me." and so he was trying to, rib her, and come on, she said, "Hell no." She got up and grabbed her clothes and run out there. But anyway, and then one time, Buddy Landell used to love to call up prostitutes all the time.
Buddy, I love Buddy.
Yeah, when Buddy would get coked up or be on a bench for 2 or 3 days, he loved calling prostitutes and bring them over to my. I was staying in a house with another guy. I wasn't a wrestler; he was just a regular dude, and he let me with him. But Buddy used to love to come over there and bring his prostitutes, and I'd let him stay and use my room and stuff. So, and all the boys knew it, and all. So we told him we had this special prostitute, and she was just the most beautiful thing you ever seen in your life. And we were going to have him, it was his birthday or something's coming up, and we were going to have him a special surprise to come over, and we had a party over there that night. And so anyway, we got it all set up and fixed up, and so we found about a 350 or 400 pound black girl on the streets in Charlotte, and we all paid her about $50 a piece to come over there and wait in the bedroom for Buddy to come in there and meet her, and so Buddy comes up over there all cocky and laughing at him. Wiping the damn powder off his nose and stuff, and he goes back and we hid her in the closet, and so he goes back in the bedroom, and we tell him, well, okay, the girl's coming, she's gonna be here, and she's coming. And so we went in there and we closed the door and locked it, and we put them things that you put indoors to keep them from opening up. We put about 5 of them down there where he couldn't open the door and get out of there, and locked the windows down. And we told that girl to wait about 5 minutes when she heard some noises in there, and then come out to bust out that closet and just run and jump on him in the bed. And so we waited, and we heard a big holler and scream, and oh my God, what the hell? And get out of here, you big Bob. And then he got up and started beating and trying to get out of the room and couldn't. And she was grabbing him and swinging him back on the bed, saying, "No, honey, you mine," and all that kind of stuff. And finally, after about 10 minutes, we opened the door back up, and he was just white as a sheik in there.
That is funny as fuck.
It was pretty funny. I mean, Bobby and Eden and Dennis and Arn and all of us were in on that one.
Oh my God, that's funny. That is
had
funny.
Great times. Also, too, Bobby is Jamie's brother-in-law and his sister and all that kind of stuff, and had good times.
I do.
Bobby is a great guy, man. Here's what
Bobby was the best.
Oh, absolutely. What a great guy.
I never heard Bobby raise his voice one time. The whole 6 years I worked around him up there in Crockett Land.
So I told you I like these rib stories and road stories. Give me a good rib you saw or was a part of, or that happened to you, or something like that.
Oh my gosh, trying to think. I think whenever Arn first got in the territory in Charlotte, and we're just Sunday afternoon show, and everybody's getting ready and happy, and it's a Sunday afternoon show, so yay, we get to go out and actually eat and go out, maybe have a few drinks in Charlotte, on Sunday night, and which was rare, and we're all happy, and the police come in the dressing room, which is like really unusual. Like, okay, what's going on here? And there goes, is there a Marty Lundy here? And we're all like, who's Marty Lundy? Who's Marty? And Arn's over there lacing up his boots, and you know how he looks over those glasses. He said, yeah, that's me. Officer, what's your name? And they go on to tell him about charges that are pending in Florida, and that he's in big trouble and underage girls and parties and dates and times and places, and the color, you could actually just see the color just slowly drain out of his face. Because the more that they said, the more it was like, not one time did he say, I wasn't there, that didn't happen. It just was like, it was sucking it out of him. So he was, they were like, well, we need to talk with you outside. So he gets up and he's got like skivvies on and one boot off and one boot on, and he's like, what do I do? And, we're just going to talk to you for a minute. So it's like, they're not even going to let me get dressed. Okay. So you can hear, so we're all like owls. So they leave and we're just like quiet, like mice and owls, and our eyes are huge, and we're all trying to listen for every little thing, a bit of what we can find out what's going on. Yeah. Because this was good. This was, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
New guys like in big trouble, And all of a sudden you hear this, Flair, I'm going to get you. I swear to God, I'm going to get you. Flair had set up the whole thing. They had actually put him in the car right outside the door. And so they're going on and on and on. And Arn thinks that he is like in super big, like, oh my gosh. Here Arn said that it was his first night in the territory. He's on like fourth. He's got a really good match. He's going over. Everything looks like so good. Like, hey, I'm getting ready to move to Charlotte. And then the police come, and you could just see that, I'm going to lose everything because of something I did 3 months ago. It was like, But Flair knew everything. He knew like where he had been, the show, like who was involved in Flair knew just enough to interject it in what the police said to where Arn believed everything.
That's
perfect. It was classic.
Smarten
it
them
was
up
so
beforehand.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
perfect. God, that would suck.
Yeah, just think like here you are, like Charlotte is definitely the hottest thing going.
Right,
you know, Jim Crockett, the whole Mid-Atlantic. You've been working down Florida Georgia line type thing. You're doing good. You're struggling. You've had just enough to where you know that, hey, if I can make it, I can make some money in this. I just have to be at the right place at the right time. So Arn's thinking that this is the right place at the right time. I'm going over mid-card. I just have to, just nail it. And yeah, the police are going to end everything.
I got to tell you a story about Playboy Buddy Rose, God bless, too.
Okay.
Oh, please.
What a rib they pulled on me. We used to have to fly every other week. We didn't have to. We would fly. It would be me, Rip, Buddy Rose, and the pilot in one of his little single-engine Cessna. We'd fly to Bellevue, Washington, land there, then get in the car and cross the border, do TV, a house show and TV, and then fly back. So we're flying back from one of those trips like that, and we're flying back, and I'm like the co-pilot, and this guy Harold was flying the plane, and I go, Harold, we just passed Seattle like 15 minutes in the air, or 10 minutes, whatever, and I said, Harold, you do see that you're running on empty, pretty close, right? And he goes, don't worry, I got enough to make it to Portland. He made it sound like he thinks I got it, and I'm like, hey, bro, if you think you ain't no thinking here. I said, turn this thing around, land in Seattle, and we just need to refuel this. He goes, nah, they're already closed. The pump still there. And I'm like, okay, so we just land there and we don't fly out to the mall then. I said, no, we'll make it. And now I'm getting a little mad, I'm like, I said, bro, you know what? Look, do you know what? Follow Interstate 5. Because if we start going down, you're going to land right in the middle of that interstate. Right? So there's both times. They're working the hell out of me. I'm going and we're all, and we still got a ways to go to Portland, but we're getting there. And I said, man, I'm telling you, we're not going to make it. And Buddy Rose and Rip, they're like in on it, and they're like, no, he's got it. I said, no, he ain't got nothing. The thing's all the way on empty. It's not like as far as it can go on empty.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, you're going to have to make an emergency landing here. And then you got to remember, this is with Sandy Barr's plane, and the tires had like patches of them where it was missing on the tire. If it hit on that, it could blow a tire. Yeah. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about the running out of gas, all that stuff. And then here we come, and we're landing at Portland, and I'm telling them, if we don't make it and this plane starts going down, you don't have to worry about us crashing because I want to beat your butt before the plane hits and crashes. And so he lands, and then they all start laughing. I said, I'm glad y'all thought that was funny. He goes, because to the left was another deal with a full tank. So they had me. I was really, man, I'll tell you, they really got me on that trip. Buddy, Rip, the pilot had me so convinced that he was just flying on fumes. Freaking out. I'm like, man, I when we landed, I got out of the plane and I just wanted to knock him out. But
never liked flying.
It was a rib, but I said, man, that's a kind of heavy rib on me.
That's stiff. That's a stiff rib, man. Golly. Man. I'm going to go ahead and start with this one because from my list of matches that I could see, especially the ones that are on TV, this was on December 28th, 1986. You wrestled with Larry Stevens against Ole and Arn Anderson. So talk about those guys.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I do remember something very, very vaguely about that match. It came back to me later, but Ole, of course, knew at the time, and I'm going to tell you that was probably one of my, I had only been in the wrestling business maybe 3 or 4 months at that particular time.
Right.
I had watched Ole growing up as a kid, and so Ole I knew was could be very rough in the ring. So we were standing there kind of at the gorilla position, getting ready to go out. Larry and I were standing there, and Arn and Ole were standing there right in front of us. All of a sudden, Ole takes his fist and he punches a wooden cabinet that sat right there at the gorilla position. And he said, I am in a pissed off mood today, and I'm going to beat somebody's ass out here in this ring today. I am not in a good mood. And I looked at Larry and I said, we're getting ready to get killed. But when we got out there, Ole was just as light as a feather. I mean, he was just as light as a feather. He was just playing a rib on us.
Yeah.
And, because he knew we were green. He knew we were one of the team's guys. So, but he really took good care of us. But I got to tell you, I was very nervous going to the ring.
You worked a lot of times. Was there any interesting Japanese stories that came about during your time there?
Well, what I will say is I've got a funny Terry Gordy story, and Stan may talk about this in his book a little bit. But I had been on tour there. I had been gone for about 3 weeks, and I was ready to go home. Like everybody else, get a little homesick for the food and that kind of thing. So Terry was down in the hotel eating breakfast that morning. And he knew I was tired of the food. And he told me, he saw me, I came down, sat downstairs with him. He said, David, you're not going to believe this. I said, what? He said, that chef back in the back, that cook, he's from the States, and he knows how to cook, bacon and eggs, and he even made me some biscuits. I said, do what? And he said, I'm not kidding you. It's some of the best I ever had. He said, do you want to try it? And I said, absolutely. And so he calls the waitress over and told her in Japanese, that I wanted to have the same thing that he was eating. And he got up and he said, enjoy that breakfast. He said, I'll see you back at the bus in a few minutes. And so when she brought my food out, it was salad and fish.
Oh my man! God.
So I knew right then that he had ribbed me. And,
brother!
So as soon as I got on the bus, he sat in the very back of the bus and he looked at me and just laid on the floor dying laughing. Oh yeah.
Where's the biscuits and gravy?
That's one thing that I really remember is just the story of Terry Gordy. Just one thing that I'll never forget.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
A Ricky Morton story. If you ever get to talk to Ricky, ask him about having Mike Sampson, Iron Cross, arrested. I think it was in Whitfield, Virginia, one night. But they got a good rib on one night. It was one of my shows. I had Ricky booked on. He knew a cop up there he was good friends with.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it is in Virginia. You got to go through the State Athletic Commission.
Right. Right.
The DPOR. You got to have a bond, license, a motorist license, license. You got to have everything. Tickets, exactly right. Well, anyway, I'm up there. I'm wrestling. I'm running the show. It's already hectic. You're trying to get all the tickets in, the advance tickets. You're trying to do the matches. You're trying to come up to finishes. I got a match myself, and Ricky's there. All of a sudden, boom, takes on the door. It's a state police guy walks in. I need to see Mike Sampson. Mike's probably used my real name at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's over there. Come over to. I need you to stop this match. Take your ring down. He's telling me he's got these papers here that says I'm not, the license. Something's wrong with my license. They're revoking everything. We've got a packed house. Ricky's there. So I said, listen. I said, I got everything in order. And I said, ask Ricky Morton out there. I said, he knows me. And Ricky threw up his hand and says, I don't know anything. I ain't involved in this. I'm thinking, what? So I'm searching Ricky. I love your Ricky tell it. I'm searching through. I had my briefcase out, and I'm searching through everything, trying to show the cop, that I am legal and I do have my stuff.
Yeah.
I'm searching and digging, and finally, Ricky starts busting out laughing. He tells me the truth. But, he tells that story every time I'm around.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, they got me going.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Wolfie, I'm going to ask you something, and I bet you do not remember.
This is
and
my
I do not.
show.
It
You
was
don't get
somewhere
to
in
ask
North
questions.
Carolina.
You don't get.
It was somewhere. Shut the fuck up. No, I didn't even cuss before I came on here. So I forget where it was, but you and Doug was on the show. It might have been Brian Christopher too. We were all on the show together, right? And I said, Wolfie, I need your number, blah blah something, and you gave me your number, right? So
Right.
probably 10 minutes later, I start dialing your phone, and when you answer, I'd hang up. And then, like, when you would call back, I would let it ring and then
Now, how
not
long
go to
ago was
voicemail,
this?
but
We
then I
didn't
would
have
hang up
cell phones.
again. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And he's like, man, some 828 number keeps fucking calling me. I'm like, I don't know. And I just kept fucking doing it. And finally, I told you, I was like, it's me, you stupid fuck. He's like,
How
oh,
long ago was this?
oh, it's been a while.
Because we didn't. Did we have cell phones back then, or is this some kind of bullshit story?
No, we had so. I'm not saying it's a fucking rock ages, bitch. Fuck.
Hey, there's been. I mean, I've known you since we didn't have cell phones. Come on now.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Sheik, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all, and all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, it's the Heat Miser Scotty Blaze. Now I'm inviting all of y'all to join me on my brand new podcast, Turning Up the Heat with the Heat Miser Scotty Blaze. So what are you waiting for? Come on over and join me. I'll be covering all the events of the day, global, national, pop culture, movies, gaming, whatever sounds interesting. But I'll also be playing some awesome skating shuffle music from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. Anything that has a good beat, I'm going to be playing it. You can rest assured. Come on over, tuthradio.com. The podcast is on every major podcast platform. See you then.
That's right, it's the talk of Middle Tennessee, the channel you love to hate and the channel you hate to love. It's Brian Turner from Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. And if you're looking for matches from Wolfie D to Jerry Lawler to Dusty Rhodes and the team that put a pimp before your eyes and a goatee between your thighs, Booty Call and Athena, go to lostwrestling.com. See, I made it easy for you. Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. Booyah.
Hey everybody, Gene Jackson here, inviting you to check out the Retro Wrestling Review, where each week I'm joined by some great co-hosts who help me review classic episodes of USWA Championship Wrestling, and right now we are doing week-by-week reviews of 1993. But we don't just do reviews, sometimes we get a chance to interview some of the people who were there and lived it, plus do watch-alongs. It's a lot of fun, so check out new episodes that drop every Wednesday at WrestleCopia.com. And to find links to everything associated to the podcast, you can go to uswapodcast.com.
So that was another great episode. Hey, Wolfie, tell them where they can find you on social media.
Jimmy, they can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. I'm just kidding. They can find me on Facebook. My personal page is Warren Wolf, WOLFE. I'm on Instagram at Warren Wolf 13.
You can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Live Wolfie D. Here's the thing. Wolfie always has offers for his autographed photos. He has a selection of some awesome photos from throughout his career that he will autograph and personalize any way that you want him to. just contact him either directly at his personal Facebook page or through any one of our other pages, and we'll make sure you get in contact directly with Wolfie. Get those photos, right, Wolfie?
Yeah, I've got some good stuff on there, to help with the podcast.
Folks, if you can't get out to a show to meet Wolfie D, there's nothing like that, especially for the fans of PG-13 and Wolfie D. And before we go, you can always find me, your host, Jimmy Street, at James Rock Street on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And hey, Jimmy, before we go real quick, I just want to add in there, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate, first of all, the work you've done for this podcast. You have worked your butt off. Secondly, the people that are liking the page. Beyond that, even more, is the people that are listening, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and remember, guys, the podcast drops a new episode every Monday at noon, and our past episodes are streaming now on demand on all major podcast formats. Thanks again.
I got a cap for your dome. He got a cap for your dome. I got a cap for your dome. He got a cap for your dome. He got a cap for your dome. And here we go. The original white boy that came out sagging, not bragging, don't be hating, cause I'm spitting the truth. Still livin' in color, from rush your mother, utilize a hubcap, unlike any other. Back in the day, I was N-O-D, and I was P to the G, plus the 1 and the 3. In case you forgot, they call me Wolfie D. Been cloned and copied so many times, tired of suckers taking credit for what is mine. You know who you are, without me name dropping. Wrestling's first white boy coming out hip-hopping. Been doing it like this since 92. Laid low for a while and you thought I was through. Listen real close to these rhymes that I've injected. This shit's so sick it makes your ears get infected. Mad skills, no faking, there is no one great. Cause I'm bringing more folks than Obi-Wan or Vader. Not here to play games, so you better beware. You don't like me, so what? I really don't care. Like time I keep ticking and I can't be stopped. You sucker step to the side unless you wanna get dropped. With my finish, I'll straight knock you out. Please allow me to tell you what it's all about. I'm gonna wind it up, then I'm driving it home. It's Wolfie D, baby. I got a cap for your dome. I got a cap for your dome. You got a cap for your dome. You got a cap for your dome.
This has been a James Rock Street production.